Hello and welcome to my channel. Hi, I'm Christine Crowell, and today I want to talk about Elon Musk, the world's richest man in the world. Now, how did this happen in such a short space of time? And before it was Facebook, Zuckerman, Bill Gates to begin with. Then we got Jeff Bezos, and then suddenly, and then there was the another billionaire who was the richest man in the world. Then suddenly, it's now become that Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. And today's video, in this live, I'm going to be going through some of the history of where he's come from and where he is now. Now, this is a man that is almost went bankrupt, for example. And, at the end of the day, when we're going through recession, these things do happen, for example. This man also received, whilst he was very wealthy, stimulus checks in the States, for example. How is that even possible? I'm going to go through some of the history, and believe me, I am not for Elon Musk at all. But what I want to talk about is how he's able to win all of these contracts that has made him the richest man in the world, because he has used a strategy which if you are looking at going into contracts, then maybe this is something you need to look at doing. And I've mentioned this, that we can apply for contracts, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, how can I say it, workforce related. You can provide other lower value contracts which will add up into a substantial amount of money. Okay, so good evening everyone, and welcome to the live. And today I want to be diving into Elon Musk, how he ascended to this position of being the world's richest man. I'm going to be exploring with you how he leveraged on government contracts and how he positioned himself within a political landscape, which no one has done this. And I'm going to discuss with you his recent role in assessing US government expenditures. So let's get started. But first of all, I want to say, if that was any of us that was applying for a contract, it clearly states that you're not allowed to have a relationship or be related or have special background knowledge of a particular contract. Well, it seems that Elon Musk has broken all of those rules to do with contracting with a government agency. And this is what really did baffle me as to how he was able to do this. And I know how he was able to do that, and I think we all do, for example. But like I said, I believe that there's this agenda that is there to tear us apart, separating us so that he can be behind the scenes getting all of the cash. And I'm saying it like that because that is how he is operating. He's distracting you. You're being distracted from applying for contracts which you're entitled to. So he's getting all of the lion's share, and he's attacking all of the big organizations, literally attacking them, getting rid of them. He's even now challenging NASA. He wants what they've got. All the things that we've known for all of these years, all these things that have been built for all of these years are being pushed to one side in the name of what? Greed. But also what I want to say is that the contracts that he's applied for, why is he not being audited? Doge is auditing other agencies, but why is Elon Musk and his agencies, his organizations, why are they not being audited like everyone else is? I feel like I'm in the twilight zone when I listen to this situation. And I believe it's going to affect the world. It is affecting the world because tariffs are being placed on countries. It's kind of like, if you're not in my gang, then I think it's a form of bullying, to tell you the truth. There's no other way that I can really say it. There's other ways I can say it, yes. But today, what I want to do is I want to show you how you can start applying for these contracts. What's happening is a massive distraction. And whilst everyone is distracted, he is just raking it in, left, right and centre. He's creating disharmony in the world. And Trump is as well. You may agree, you may not agree. But from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing from people, what they're saying, and what I'm seeing is showing me this. And then when I go into more deeper as to the Doge, for example, the IT people, it just lets me see that I believe it's to do with applying for as many contracts as possible whilst the world is in turmoil, whilst the world is fighting, whilst the world is having these meetings, whilst the world is going to court to try and get him out and stop him and things like that. It's a distraction so that he can keep applying and seeing what other companies that have got contracts, what they're paying, how much are they getting, what is the profit margin, how can he benefit from it. So I want you to really be focused on, if you're a business owner, for example, to be focused on applying for these contracts, for example, because you're entitled to apply for contracts. Now, I'm not saying apply for the big contracts like what Elon Musk has done and is doing today. I'm saying go for the lower value contracts and do one, get that one, get it under your belt, and then you do another one 3 months later, 4 months later. And then by the end of the year, if you're in America, you would have possibly have gotten 3 contracts, for example. Okay? But I'm going to talk to you about Elon Musk. And I want us to get started. So, number 1, the power of government contracts. Right? So, imagine Elon Musk is a wealthy person, an individual, significantly tied to companies, which is securing substantial government contracts. That's all his focus is. You know, this is a man that has been sleeping in his office, working flat out, non-stop, probably only sleeping for 4 hours, and then he's working on his business and working on how he can get more contracts and what he's missing out on, how he can keep being the world's richest man. It must be quite stressful to have that pressure that you've got to keep moving and you don't get to stop because you want to keep that title of the world's richest man in the world. So I'm going to go break this down to you, for example. So with government contracts like SpaceX, for example, he's been awarded 17 billion in federal contracts since 2015, with a noticeable increase during the Biden administration in 2024. Now, SpaceX received 3.7 billion in federal contracts. Now, these deals have been pivoted in funding projects like Falcon, Starship rockets, as well as Starlink satellite, for example. So Tesla, for example, which is owned by Musk, for example, the electronic vehicle company, has also benefited from government support. The company received 465 million loan from the Department of Energy in its early days. And yes, he repaid it back early. But Tesla capitalized on various tax incentives and credits aimed to promoting clean energy and electric vehicles. Now, he's now in a political positioning and influence with Trump, isn't he? President Trump, for example. So think about this. Musk has strategically positioned himself within the political arena, and this happened November 2024 when President Trump was appointed. So he's really placed himself in a good position. He already knew, and probably President Trump knew what they were going to do as soon as they got in. That's why President Trump was like, on day one, he didn't even go to sleep and rest, it straight away in the office and started signing. It was planned.